John Cena
Yeah, man.
announced that the
Yeah.
2025 Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania 40 will be the final events as an active competitor. Um, he is just up there on Mount Rushmore's amount Mount Rushmore's. He's on it, he's off it, he's on it, he's off it. But I just want to get into it because this is, this is, I don't want to say the Babe Ruth because again, that sounds cliche, but he's 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 one of the biggest superstars wrestlers to come out of WWE after the biggest boom, the biggest
For
era
sure.
of
Yeah.
professional wrestling, regardless of who was in charge or what regime. I mean, they were just kicking, killing on all cylinders. And to have that just stop, and they did coin it, what, the PG era? So, like, even that didn't
Yeah.
help. But he is not only an amazing wrestler, but the guy outside of the ring. I mean, we'll get into it, but just the whole thing. Let's hear it, Keith. He comes out. We did know that he was there. If you went on X and you saw
Right.
pictures, he was
Yeah.
in Toronto. That kind of ruined it for me. But the actual headline, what he announced, is just, I don't know. I get it, but let's hear it, brother. What do you got?
Yeah. No, it was super. It was like really confusing to me because, like, I mean, I've said before on def other episodes we've done and everything. Like, I normally don't get to like typically don't get to like watch an event or a show or anything like then and there. So it's usually like kind of going living vicariously through clips and stuff that are popping up on Facebook and stuff as it's going on, and then day after, 2 days after, I'll sit down and actually get to watch everything. And like I knew he was there, and I saw it like pop up where like he made an appearance, and it was like just like had his thing or whatever, and then it was like read more. And when I hit the read more, it said announced his retirement. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
what? And I was like, that's just it was like a very weird thing. It was just like, hey, we're gonna have him here to say he's retiring. Like that was weird, especially like when it's like, especially because it's not for like so long really at this point. I mean, he's saying like Mania next year is the last Mania he'll be on, which even that, it was like, well, that's your last Mania, but like, I mean, are you still going to show up on episodes and stuff until the end of 2025? Like, when are you actually retiring? Like, I feel like we weren't given an exact date. So, like, that was confusing
yeah,
too. It was just like a really weird thing
yeah,
in general.
yeah.
Like the
I'm with you. It
announcement of
was out
it,
of
the announcement of
yeah,
it as a whole. But like, I mean, as far as like what it is, like it literally is like what more can you say about it? Like, I mean, it's literally an end of an era. It's in
yeah,
a lot of ways, like it's crazy because I feel like I don't want to speak for you. I know a good chunk of his like run and everything was like my kind of chunk of time like away from wrestling for a little bit and everything. But like I feel like he's like the first really like huge star that like with like crossover star and everything that like I've gotten to see his entire career in my
yeah,
lifetime. Like, yeah, like Attitude Era and all that. Like, yeah, I was alive during it, but like, I don't
yeah.
remember Rocky Maivia coming out ever. I can't tell you that I remember sitting there
No,
watching a Rocky Maivia match or watching a Ringmaster match or, you
yeah,
know, even remember sitting and watching, a Hunter Hearst Helmsley match like live,
yeah. I tend to remember like the hose and the money shot and
That's what I
eh,
mean, like, by the
everybody
time
was
I
head.
can
Yeah,
the first, like, wrestling memories I have, like, forming with stuff and everything, they were those big stars of that time were already big stars of that time. Like, it wasn't I
yeah,
didn't see their trajectory and everything, but I can absolutely remember sitting on my couch in my childhood home watching SmackDown with my mom when Ruthless Aggression, and he hit Cena. Like, I remember that debut match happening
yep,
vividly. I know I can remember the crappy couch that I was on that didn't have legs on it and everything. It was set on the floor when it shouldn't have been.
nice.
Like to a T. I remember everything. Like, I remember
Yeah,
watching that match full on.
yeah,
And to see it go down and like all the ups and downs, the Lowell Cena wins and Super Cena and
jeez.
it was away for a while.
That was some bad TV.
Good. All the he holds the record for the most make a wishes granted. I'm sure he's gonna just keep rolling on that. He'll keep making that. He'll set that record higher
Yeah,
and higher as life goes on, just because he retires when he's retiring from that. Yeah, like it's just
yeah.
I don't know. I talked a lot there. What do you think about it all, man? Where are you at?
I got a lot to unpack here, but I guess let's just start from the top here. One thing during his press conference that I love so much, and I respect him for just because it's so difficult to do something you love so much and just stop. I mean, look at Taker. How many times did he put his hat on, you know, so to say, he put his hat in the ring and then the
Right,
boots this year, and then he came back Saudi and he did that. It's just
right,
really tough. But Cena is that guy that's going to say, "Hey, I'm done," and that's what he said. I'm done. I'm not going to wrestle. I'm not going to be, a Nick Aldis. I'm not going to be a GM. I'm not going to be a commentator. And that's what you want. You want someone to just say, "I'm done," because
right.
that's how Austin was for a long, long time, and you respect that because that's just I don't want to say that's what a man does, but that's what you set your eye you set something up, and you're just gonna say, "Okay, I'm gonna do that," and that's what he's gonna do, and I love it. Now another thing too is it's just I'm with you. It came out of left field. Again, we saw
Mhm.
the pictures and all that on Twitter and TMZ or whatever it is, and that is that. That's wrestling. But I feel like this may be something because of Netflix and because of the new transition from cable to streaming. He's going to get a lot of eyes, and they may need a lot of eyes just because it's a new thing. It's not just turn on USA. It's turn on Netflix. Then you have to
Like,
buy
buy
that.
the
So,
account. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
which isn't a lot, but overall, I mean, I'm with you too. Like, I don't remember most of Attitude Era. Like I said, I remember, the Hose and JR and the Hell in the Cell matches, like those things. Um, Talk to me about like what he means to you, and then also what he means to professional wrestling. Because as much as people say it's Taker, it's Austin, it's this, it's that, it's Hogan, it's Rick. What do you think with that too? Is he up there? Is he just like a guy that just was a hard worker, and if he came up doing the Attitude Era, maybe he would have had.
No, yeah, totally. I mean, so I just as one other point, just on like the whole like out of nowhere thing. Like, I get, like when the time is right, the time is right. His literally, your time is up, my time is now. Like when the time is right, the time is right. You announce the retirement and everything.
Boom.
It was more just for me weird that it was like a segment on like a pay per view.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if that was the mindset, like you said, like if it was something like, oh well, it's a pay per view, it's a PLE, it's got more eyes on it than like the typical like day to day like product does. Like more of the hardcore fans are watching the PLE as opposed to like you're someone who's flipping through and hits on USA as he's in the ring to be given that speech
Yeah.
or something. Like, all right, like I guess I can get it from that aspect, but like that to me was the weirder thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I
They don't need
kind of I
eyes.
kind of
I
figured
feel
his retirement was coming here sooner or later.
yeah.
He's been to call him part-time is even not
Yeah.
that great of a thing because like he was I mean, he's
I
been
can
part
name
I
what
call
was
him
it?
I'll call it
Yeah.
part-time, but I mean it's less than that, but he's been part-time for the last geez, what?
Yeah.
Outside of the SAG strike.
Theory,
But like outside of
Solo.
when
Yeah.
SAG was on strike, because he's a Hollywood man, and that's fine. There's no
Yeah.
hate toward that or anything. So, you know, whatever. It was just weird that it was on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But in terms of like,
Just legacy.
all of that, the legacy, the Mount Rushmore and all, I don't know that I would put him on like my Rushmore,
Yeah.
but because of just
Yeah.
because
It's
of the
yours.
time, like, because of the age of fan that I am. Now, the alternative to that, my cousin who's oh, 8, 9 years younger than me, maybe more, maybe 10 years, 9 or 10 years younger than me. He's not a huge wrestling fan, but if I were to ask him, like, who to you is like the greatest wrestler you remember watching growing up, he'd be like, oh, John Cena, Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio. They're the names he would throw out, which is crazy, Rey Mysterio, because that would, yeah.
Booyaka.
Anyway, but like he knows John Cena. He would know and be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, John Cena was amazing being a kid and everything. And so like, yeah, I mean, maybe not on my Rushmore, but I can absolutely see him being on Rushmores. And I do think it's not just the hard worker kind of thing. Absolutely. I mean, not to say the guy doesn't work hard. Of course he does. Watch, look at anything that he does.
Yeah.
Worked his ass off to get over whatever they were trying to give him, whether it's, literal rainbow colored shirts because he was, you know, because he was on Fruity Pebbles boxes. They're like, cool, you were on the rainbow cereal box. Here's a rainbow plethora of t-shirts to wear. Here's a purple one. Here's an orange one. Here's John Deere. You know, just giving him
Yep.
all that kind of stuff and being able to do, like being able to really handle any of this stuff, sending him in to Hammerstein for one night stand and being able to like
Yeah.
Cena wins, we riot, and just him literally being, know, uh, outside of that like short span in the beginning, like with the like not beginning, but earlier on, Doctor Thugonomics when he was like heel, then like he's been a face forever. Like
Yeah.
he's yeah. I don't even I'm like struggling for the words for it because like there is just a legacy with him. Like
Yeah.
he's literally everything any company wants as like the face of their company
Yes.
with the Make-A-Wish stuff, with he had maybe it came on later in his career than like maybe not as much early on and stuff with it because who's going to do
Yeah.
all this early on and stuff, but like such a willingness to just do whatever they told him, going back to, the just here's a rate. You're gonna sell whatever color t-shirt we want to put you in. Just like, got it. I'll wear not only will I wear that t-shirt, I'll wear a hat that matches it, I'll wear sweatbands and armbands that match it.
Yeah.
Every time. Just all that nonsense. Just he can do it all. You want me in the straight to DVD movie about being a Marine, despite the fact that I've never been in the armed forces. I'm
Yeah.
there, and I'll start doing this in my entrances and pretending like I am an actual Marine for a little while because that'll little just being able to do it all,
Yeah.
do the scripted promos, but still be able to cut a promo on his own. You're. I feel like generally speaking, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who came up in and around his time and everything who like Cornette, as much as he's whatever in other people's opinions, in my own opinion and stuff, like Cornette loved him. Like you watch Cornette's, take on like the OVW crew, like that, his crew coming up. He's just like John Cena. You put him in front of a camera, and you might have thought the guy's been cutting promos since for the last 30 years. It's the first time he cut a promo. Like
Yeah.
he got so much of it so quick.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's a lot,
mean,
man. It's a
he's
lot to unpack.
fantastic. That's what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
there's so much to say about him, good
Yeah.
and bad in a lot of ways, but like,
Yeah.
you know, that's you can say
Yeah.
that about everybody really.
That is
No one had a
true.
sterling perfect record at any point and did, especially in the WWE.
Yeah, you brought up promo, and that's the one thing that pops out to me. Yes, 16 times. Yes, he's the head of the face of the company. Yes, he had amazing matches with AJ at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar, Randy. I mean, there's a lot you can talk about, but the promo is something else. I don't think you'll ever find someone like him. I know people love the Ric Flairs. I know people love the Seth Rollins, but you put him in the ring and you see what happens. Throw
Mhm.
him to Roman. What happened? Roman stepped up. Theory, as much as that whole feud sucked, Theory stepped up. Like when it's time to put someone over,
Yep.
who do you bring in? You bring in the big gun, and he's going to be missed, man. And again, he's a man of his word. I do not see him returning again for WrestleMania 42, 43. I think he's done. And that's how it should be. You should be done when the time is up. And his time is up. Let's end it with this, and we'll get on to the next topic. There's a new regime. And that regime, we know, Trips, is very, very, very close to Ric Flair. What am I going to say? 16 times, 16 time. I don't know what will happen. I don't know if Cena wants to win, but it would be a hell of a match to see him go one on one with maybe a Cody if he still has the title, and maybe another Roman. And I don't even know with Raw who the champ will be. But 17 times is a world record. I know. Rick has 21, 22, 23 with
Right.
NWA
It is,
and
yeah.
WCW. But as a wrestling fan, let's just pretend, hey, Ric Flair is at 16, John Cena is at 16. Do we see it with the new regime, with everything that has happened? Do we see him break the record? Maybe not at his last match, but give me your take. What do you got?
I I don't think so. No.
Because
Um
because of John Cena or because of something else?
no, just because of yeah, because of him, I don't think Cena would like do that to anybody, and I think it's more he he doesn't need to,
He
you
doesn't.
know, like
He doesn't need it.
really need to. Um,
No.
and I don't see, for as many like bad decisions he might have made to like not put people over in the past, the Nexus and everything. Like
Yeah.
I think he learned so much from that he's gonna just be like, don't,
Yep.
it's not worth it to like waste one of your champions to give me something in the books for whatever reason and move on from there. I think instead of that, I think what it'll be is as soon as we get close enough to Mania 41 when they start talking about Hall of Fame inductees for the year,
Yep.
he's going to headline the Hall of Fame class in 2025. He might
Yeah.
like he'll still wrestle at WrestleMania or whatever, but like he'll headline the Hall of Fame class too. I'm sure
Yep.
with him retiring next year, he'll go right in
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
love it. Um, Last thing. Favorite
Yeah,
match, favorite moment. Let's hear it. I know we got a year and some change, but let's talk about it. I can give you mine. You want me to give you mine
yeah.
first?
No, shoot, I gotta think a little bit because I
All
have a
right.
couple that running through my head.
Uh it was for the WWE title, SummerSlam 2014. I was there live, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. That's when Brock Lesnar jumped off the step or the stairs or steel steps and flipped over the rope. Remember that? And then he got all bloody and shit.
Yes.
That was that match. I was
All
there
right.
live. It was just something. It was again. You brought up ruthless aggression. That was just ruthless, man.
Right.
That was. I think I seen him and AJ. Was that it? Was that that was Brooklyn, right? I seen that too. Yeah,
I want to say that was Brooklyn. Yeah.
yeah. So those two matches, just again, put him in the ring with AJ, who's just phenomenal every aspect, and then you put him in a ring with the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, and he steps up. I love it. Those are the two things that I can think of, and the other thing too was that Roman promo. Was that promo with
Yeah.
Roman? Where he's just like, "You got to step up, dude. Like you got to do it." And it took him a little, but he stepped up, and I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
What
No,
do you got?
him literally telling Roman like, you know, because that was the woman Roman called him the part timer. And he's just like, well, I'm the part timer that had to come back because you're not cutting it as the full timer, bro.
Yep,
Like, ugh, damn. Even if that was a scripted line, like, just goddamn the way he delivers it,
perfect.
Favorite match, it's cliche, but it's the only one it's the only one of his that is
Money
sticking out in
in
my
the
head.
bank.
It's yeah, him and Punk, Money in the Bank, man. I talk a lot of smack on Punk nowadays, but like Punk brought out the best of him back in what was that,
Yeah,
2010, 2013, 2010, 2010? I want to say it was 2013, maybe. Whatever. Punk brought the best of him in that.
yeah,
A pile driver busted out of nowhere and just
yeah,
brought out the best in him in that match. Fantastic. As far as moments go, I mean, I'm struggling really, man. The Firefly Funhouse match, that was on my top Mania matches because that was just a whole mind F,
yeah.
which is a huge part is with
Oh,
him.
what
That was
about
crazy. Um,
announcing Bin Laden? Bin Laden.
yeah, that was wild. That's a thing that
Yeah,
happened in our lifetime too.
yeah,
Um, just there's so many just like pieces of promos and stuff of his that stick out
yeah.
in my head as
It's too
moments.
hard.
The Roman one we just talked about. Same with like the whole thing you did with the build up to Theory, being like,
Yes.
yeah, cool, you beat John Cena. Then what?
Yeah,
You have to come out here the next night? Are you going to be?
yeah,
What do you do with that? Like literally pulled his pants down. Like just
yeah,
you were said he was so right too. I hate to
yeah,
say that because I love Theory, but he was so right.
yeah,
Just Theory beat him, and it was like, all right, now what? Nothing.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, there's no like
brutal.
single. I mean, there are two matches, I guess, again because I was there
Oh
live. But let's hear it.
no, I mean obviously his whole all the US title open challenges,
Oh yeah,
the feud
KO
with
and
him and
Sting.
Owens, the
Yeah,
feud with him and Owens when Owens was the NXT champ. Um,
yeah,
Good lord, him and Rusev at 31 when Rusev came out in the tank.
yeah. A
Um,
lot of good moments, man.
there's the
I
one that sticks out in my head too. He was having a promo off with Jericho over something way back,
yeah,
and Cena does something. And he's just like, "There's only one thing left for me to do then, and that's win the whole fudging thing."
oh
And
yes,
everyone's kind of like, "Ugh." And Jericho's like, "Did you just say fudging?" And he's just like, "It's a PG show. I don't know what to tell you." It's like,
yeah,
"Yeah, dude. All right." Like that's
yeah,
crap. That's a crap line, but like if we're acknowledging it, there we go. There it
yeah.
is. Brilliant.
One last thing. I said this three
Yeah.
times. This will be the last thing. I swear.
It's all right, man.
I
It's
do think he'll break the record. I think it's. I don't think Vince would have done it just because I think I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just think he just wouldn't do it. I don't know exactly why I think that, but I do think Trips looks at money. I think he looks at tickets. I think he looks at all that a little more. He's a little more, current, and he understands what us wrestling fans like. I think I think it'll happen, but I don't think it's going to be like at a WrestleMania. It'll be like I don't know where, but yes, I do think it's going to happen. I think that that would be really great.
So
You
the
know?
another one, and outside of like this, just and this will be the last thing I say, I promise. Before all of it, the only another big reason I don't think that he will is because Orton is still an active wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Um, and Orton is sorry, I'm trying to do this on the sly on the side as I'm talking about it. Orton is a 14-time
Yes.
world champion right now. So I don't know how much longer Orton's got in the tank, but
Yeah.
to me, with him still being active and not announcing a retirement, I think it's more likely that Orton gets 3 more runs than Cena getting 1 more in the last, less than
Yeah.
a year he's gonna go.
Makes
But
sense. Yeah. All right,
yeah.
we're done. Let's get the hell out of
Yeah.
here.